আসসালামু আলাইকুম প্রিয় দর্শক, আপনাদের সবাইকে স্বাগত জানাচ্ছি আপনাদের প্রিয় চ্যানেল এনটিভিতে আজকের যে প্রোগ্রাম মিট দ্য গভর্নর, এবং এই প্রোগ্রামটিতে আমরা আপনাদের জন্য একটি দারুণ কিছু খবর নিয়ে আসি। কেননা প্রতিটি প্রোগ্রামে আমরা একজন ইন্সপিরেশনাল গভর্নর আপনাদের সামনে হাজির করি। আজকেও তার ব্যতিক্রম নয়, এবং আজকে আমরা কথা বলবো আমাদের ইন্ডাস্ট্রিকে নিয়ে, এবং একজন গভর্নর হিসেবে, একজন রেস্টুরেন্টার হিসেবে উনি ইন্ডাস্ট্রিকে কিভাবে দেখছেন, এবং উনি নিজেকে এ পর্যায়ে আসার পেছনে কি সংগ্রাম করেছেন, কি সংগ্রামের মাধ্যমে আজকে উনি সফল ব্যক্তি হিসাবে এই কমিউনিটিতে উনি আছেন, এবং কিভাবে উনি পরিচালনা করছেন ওনার নিজের ব্যবসা প্রতিষ্ঠান। প্রিয় দর্শক, পরিচয় করিয়ে দিচ্ছি আজকের আমাদের যে অতিথি আছেন। আজকের অতিথি হচ্ছেন আমাদের সুপরিচিত যে এরিয়াটির নাম আমরা সবাই জানি, একজন বাঙালি হিসাবে, একজন বাংলাদেশি হিসাবে আমরা গর্ব করতে পারি। কারণ এই এরিয়াটার নাম বললে শুধু ইউকে নয়, ইউকের বাইরেও যে 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 জায়গায় বাংলাদেশিরা আছেন সবাই এক নামে চেনেন, ব্রিকলেন। সেই ব্রিকলেনের প্রতিষ্ঠিত একজন ব্যবসায়ীর সাথে আজকে আমরা কথা বলবো, এবং তিনি হচ্ছেন আমাদের আব্দুল আহাদ, সিটি স্পাইস রেস্টুরেন্টের গভর্নর। আসসালামু আলাইকুম, কেমন আছেন?
Alhamdulillah.
How are you?
Very well, thank you very much.
It's glad to have you today, today's show, Meet the Governor. এবং আজকে আপনার কাছ থেকে আমরা জানতে চাইবো, যেহেতু আপনি এমন একটি জায়গায় ব্যবসা পরিচালনা করছেন যেখানে অনেক টুরিস্টরা আসে, সে জায়গায় আপনারা কি ধরনের চ্যালেঞ্জ মোকাবিলা করছেন, এবং পাশাপাশি আপনি একজন সফল ব্যবসায়ী হিসেবে এই পর্যায়ে আসার পেছনে আপনার গল্পটা যদি আমাদের দর্শকের উদ্দেশ্যে একটু বলতেন। প্রথমে আমার প্রশ্ন হচ্ছে যে আপনি কিভাবে এখন বর্তমান অবস্থা কেমন যাচ্ছে?
If you don't mind, I speak English. Sure. I feel comfortable. বর্তমানে এখন still very challenging time. Because 80% of Bricklane's business is tourist related.
Okay.
So we opened up about 12 weeks ago. 12 weeks in with the
pandemic সময় বন্ধ ছিল।
হ্যাঁ, totally বন্ধ ছিল, because the city does not have any takeaway services. Yes. There is no permanent customers, as they say.
আচ্ছা।
So we're totally closed, but the last 12 weeks we opened up. The last 3 weeks the business has been breaking even.
আচ্ছা।
Previously it hasn't. We have opened, but it hasn't broken even. Bricklane is a unique place, close to everybody's heart. All the Bengali community. We started off in Bricklane. That's where our roots are. And from there on we moved on to so many different things. Mashallah, we establish in every single field at the moment. From banking to business to finance, everywhere. Everywhere. I don't think there's a field that we haven't touched. And it all started in Bricklane. My father came to the country in the early 60s.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I was the first batch of Bengalis in Bricklane, that area.
Okay.
There was only a handful of people there. But I moved away, and my challenge was to get into Bricklane. 20 years ago, you could not touch Bricklane. It was so vibrant, and the premises weren't available. Okay. Money couldn't buy a premises in Bricklane.
Okay. But you're talking about 20 years back.
Sadly, at the moment, currently, Bricklane is no more what it used to be. The curry industry has changed. Our generation has moved on, and the staffing crisis has been from 2012 onwards. It's been very difficult to run any business in this country, in hospitality. Especially Indian restaurants have been very difficult, because our market is very unique.
মানে এটা মার্কেটটা হইলো কি, জাস্ট যখন টুরিস্ট আইবা, then you can do business.
We thrive in the summer months, and even in winter we thrive. We got a lot of European people here, and American, but whole of the city is based on tourism. So it's not just us in Bricklane suffering. People in the West End and in the city, Central London are suffering. Had the most difficult time in the pandemic, because our business is reliant on tourism, and there's no tourism obviously at the moment, and probably for the foreseeable future for few more months, maybe a year or so.
এই যে বর্তমানে যারা আপনারা ব্যবসা করছেন ব্রিকলেন, আসলে আপনাদের বর্তমানে কি দেখতে পাচ্ছেন, ফিউচারটা কেমন? What is your future?
Well, I think we need to create our own future. At the moment, there's digital marketing. You can promote your business, bring the customers to Brick Lane rather than before the customers to come to you. You have to bring the customers to Brick Lane.
Now you have to grab the customer.
That exactly.
And competition is there.
It's healthy competition. When there was 50 odd restaurants in Brick Lane, people curry go to Brick Lane, and all the restaurants were busy. Mashallah, there was nobody sitting around. Every day there was. Now there's a less choice, there's less customers.
Okay.
Before they would come to, it was every day was a market day. If you come to Brick Lane in 2008 and 9, every day was like a market day. You can, you open the doors and there was customers all day long. But since 2012, the slight changes have come through, and gradually the changes have got harder. And the pandemic was very difficult as well.
আচ্ছা, এটা কি শুধু আপনার ধরেন প্যান্ডেমিকের কারণে? এর আগেও তো আমরা শুনছি Brick Lane is dying.
Because
কেন এটা?
এইটার main factor হলো some of the premises only have 60 or 70 covers, maximum 70 covers on Brick Lane, and the rents went up so much. The 70 covers were not covering the overheads.
Okay.
That was the main factor. It wasn't to do with change of location. It was nothing to do with that. Nothing to do. The premises were maximum covers in Brick Lane 70 to 80 covers, and 80 covers were not paying. The rents were going up every year, every 3 years, and the rents were not meeting the cost of running a business in Brick Lane. So slowly they moved away. And curry used to have a lot of margin. Back when I started, it was 70% margin, they say. Hardly 20% left now.
When did you start your business in Brick Lane?
Brick Lane, I've been in Brick Lane since 2008.
2008.
I was brought up in the area.
Okay.
As I said, I was one of the first group of Asians in Brick Lane area.
Okay.
So I know the area very well. But
you started your business 2008.
Yeah.
Before that, where were you?
I was in college. So I was in Gravesend, beg your pardon. I had 2 takeaways there. And I used to have a shop as well, so I used to run them, and this came up in 2008.
Fantastic, thank you. আমরা 2008 এ আপনি শুরু করেছেন, এরপর থেকে আমরা শুরু করব এবং আপনার সম্পর্কে আরো বেশি জানার চেষ্টা করব। আমরা যাচ্ছি একটা বিরতিতে। প্রিয় দর্শক, আজকে কথা বলছিলাম আমাদের অতিথি আব্দুল আহাদ, তিনি হচ্ছেন ব্রিক লেনের একজন রেস্টুরেন্টার। আমরা অনেক গুরুত্বপূর্ণ তথ্য তার কাছ থেকে জানবো এবং তার জীবন সম্পর্কেও কিছু জানার চেষ্টা করব। থাকুন আমাদের সাথে, যাচ্ছি একটা বিরতিতে। বিরতি থেকে আবারও ফিরে আসছি। প্রিয় দর্শক, বিরতির পর আবারও ফিরে আসলাম আপনাদের প্রিয় চ্যানেল টিভির আজকের মিট দ্য গভর্নর অনুষ্ঠানে। আমি আকরামুল হোসেন আছি আপনাদের সাথে। প্রিয় দর্শক, আজকে আমরা আমাদের অতিথির সাথে কথা বলছিলাম। উনি 2008 সালে ব্যবসা শুরু করেছেন ব্রিক লেনে। এর আগে অনেকগুলো ব্যবসা ছিল। উনি অনেক দিন ধরেই ক্যাটারিং ইন্ডাস্ট্রির সাথে জড়িত আছেন এবং একজন ব্যক্তি যিনি এই দেশেই মোটামুটি 2 বছর বয়সে ব্রিটেনে এসেছেন এবং তখন থেকেই এই ব্রিটেনকেই উনি আঁকড়ে ধরে বড় হয়েছেন এবং বাংলাদেশকে উনি মনের মধ্যে রেখেছেন। এই জন্যই হয়তোবা ব্রিক লেনকে উনি বেছে নিয়েছিলেন ওনার ব্যবসায়িক কেন্দ্র হিসাবে। সো ভাই, আপনার সাথে তো আমরা বিরতির আগে যে বিষয় নিয়ে আমরা কথা বলছিলাম যে আপনি 2008 সালে যখন ব্যবসা শুরু করেন তখনকার যে অবস্থা, আপনাকে কেন ব্রিক লেনে ব্যবসা শুরু করেছিলেন, বা হোয়াট ওয়াজ দি main reason?
When I was younger, I was a young lad. I used to see everybody in Brick Lane. There was quite a lot of famous Bangladeshi people in Brick Lane.
Achha.
I used to inspire looking at them. They had all the cars, they had all the shops, and Brick Lane was buzzing. And I was brought up there. I moved away from Brick Lane 20 years ago. My heart was still there. I wanted to come into Brick Lane. It's a matter of finance.
It's like a second Bangladesh.
It is. That's home. There's nothing comparable to that. If you go to Bangladesh, I still miss Brick Lane.
Okay.
So that's where your heart is. You can't move away from your heart.
এবং এখন অনেক জায়গায় দেখেছে বাংলাদেশেও মানে কোন রেস্টুরেন্টের নাম আছে ব্রিক লেন।
There is no other word to say. Brick Lane is famous all around the world.
That's true. তো যখন আপনি 2008 সালের ব্যবসা আর বর্তমান সময়ের ব্যবসা তো একটা পার্থক্য আছে, বা এরপরেও এই সময়টাকে আমরা আর কখনো can we get it back?
I doubt it. I mean, well, The industry has changed completely, completely changed. Customers are much more demanding. Everything has to be 100%, not 99%. Years back, people were a bit more relaxed, you know. Even my colleagues who work with me were a bit more relaxed. But now everybody has to be on their toes. Because the margins are so small, you can't go wrong with the business. But I doubt it will come back to them good old days, you know. But there's hope. You can't lose hope.
But it's difficult, you say.
It's difficult, yeah. It's difficult. You cannot leave hope at all.
But do you think that likewise it happened before to other community? They were here and then they moved on. So do you think that it's going to happen same thing to us as a Bangladeshi?
Well, everything, aspiration, you cannot stop that. Everything in society moves on. You know, the Jewish people came to Brick Lane, they moved on, they go to Stanford Hill, they've got multi-million-pound finance companies. We came here, we started off with this, we educated our kids and our grandchildren, and we moved on. Slowly this sector will change. Maybe the colleges will have to adapt to the new generation. They have to give them like 4 days off and 4 days on, you know, a rota system rather than have them working 5 or 6 days, you know, and have the morning shift and evening shift. They have to adjust to that. Obviously, if we put the food prices slightly, if we make more margins on the business, then we can put 2 shifts of people working there. The business will become more profitable. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then, you know, look, hospitals run on 2 shifts, 3 shifts. Other restaurants in West End, they run on 2 shifts, 3 shifts. So rather than have a separate group of staff who can work during the day, have a separate group who can work in the evening, probably 4 days on, 4 days off. Those sort of things has to be introduced in the next 5 years to survive.
But je problem ta what we are looking at, you don't get too many customers. So if you change, you will change it for a betterment of your industry or betterment of your restaurant. But if you don't get the customers, then how are you going to cope with
if
it?
you don't,
But your price is going to be up.
If you don't market your business, but I'm talking about Brick Lane itself. If you market your business, the customers are there.
Okay.
In Liverpool Street, 200 years down the road, there's customers there. They market their business, they have their own marketing team, they employ people.
Absolutely.
I used to employ a full-time person
Good.
on a full-time basis with, you know, with the full perks. And she was a graduate that used to run the business for the last 4 years. When things in Brick Lane changed, I wanted to retire, but I thought, nah, I'm not going to do that. I will change the business so the business works itself. So I employed somebody to do the full-time marketing, you know, and obviously the business really took off before the pandemic. I was extremely busy.
You were happy.
I was delighted how the business. So the customers are out there. You have to bring it to yourself, as I said before. But people have to change. They'll have to have one part of their profits towards marketing, you know,
That's true.
and a bit more towards their staff as well, so they can employ. Instead of employing one person to do the morning shift and the evening shift, employ 2 people to do 2 shifts.
That's true.
The pay will be slightly a bit more, but if the business comes through the door, you can pay them.
Absolutely. Because we're in Brick Lane, and if you see, it's very close to the central London.
Yeah.
If central London can do this, so why don't you can?
Our industry, the restaurant curry industry, needs to adapt. Because we're a little bit behind on this staffing issues. We keep complaining. If we divide them up into morning shift, lunch, evening shift, it'll work. I'm sure. There is flexibility in people. Some people want to do 4 hours in the morning, go and pick their kids up at 5 o'clock from school. These people are sitting home doing nothing, you know.
Also, this is a very, you know, it's for us, I think, we should be proud for it, because the industry developed by our forefathers, by our elders, and when they have done it, probably they just know how to cook curry.
Yeah.
But now, as you said, in every house, approximately in every house, we've got graduate, our grandchildren, they are graduate. Some of them are really doing very good jobs. So we can get the idea from them.
Yeah.
And we can implement to our industry. So why it's not happening?
I done a program on BBC. Sorry, can I mention BBC?
Yes, sure.
BBC 3 about this. It's on. It's Mo BBC Three, it's about the 50 years of Bangladesh. I mentioned that.
Okay.
I mentioned that on that we have moved on. He's a comedian. He works in his takeaway, his dad in the weekend. He still works in his dad's takeaway.
Okay.
And he's a full-time comedian.
Wow.
And catching up, so my son, who graduated this year, mashallah, from Birmingham University, he's in the restaurant.
Which university?
Birmingham University.
Birmingham University.
Yeah, he got first class as well.
Wow.
Let me just
Congratulations to him.
Thank you.
Hopefully he's watching.
He's in the restaurant.
He's in the restaurant?
Yeah.
So we got to complain that young generation not going into the restaurant.
Why not? I mean, there's this aspect in our society that don't go to the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
In 2012, my son came here, helped me out in the weekends, did all the social media,
Wow.
helped me out. I've got two boys, and the other one also is 18 now, helps me out to do the weekend. So the thing is, if the kids can help go and work in McDonald's or somewhere else, so why can't they help in the dad's restaurant?
Definitely.
And
the good thing of this restaurant industry, because it's busy 2 days, Friday and Saturday.
it teaches them how to be real.
Absolutely.
You know, how to be real, how to mix with society, how to speak it, how to communicate, how to mix with people, rather than be isolated. And so I was worried that if my son graduated, he won't go to the restaurant. He said, "Dad, I'm doing 3 days a week." I said, "What?" You know, such a, you know.
Such a good result.
Yeah, he said, "Dad, I'm bored at home."
Canary Wharf.
I said, he has got a job.
Okay.
And he's doing 3 days there, and he was doing 3 days in the restaurant.
Wow, that's
so I'm proud,
very
and I think our generation has to let the children run the businesses. They have more ideas than us, you know. This day and age, the children, obviously, children are much more aware of what's going on than dads are. So maybe you can sit down with your whoever your child is, whether it's a girl or a boy, learn something of them, and learning never stops.
Absolutely.
We have a session, Tumiki doesn't know, you know, the Sileti word. What would you know? They know more than us. So give them an opportunity to talk to them.
They probably need a guidance sometimes to think about yours.
Yeah, you have to give them time. Yes. You have to bring them in and say, like, "Dad, or son or daughter, I want to do this. How's the best way to approach this?" They'll research, they'll come back to you and say, "Dad, this and this and this." You talk to them, they'll guide you in the right way.
Okay.
That's what I believe. My son has done that to me. Obviously, I wasn't tech savvy in 2012. I am now. You know, when the iPhone generation came out, I had to learn all these things. Mm-hmm. And the only way to learn was through your kids or you go to college.
Absolutely.
And the kids teach us better things.
Absolutely, absolutely. You are absolutely right. But still, by some of us really thinking that, okay, our generation is okay, we have done a hard job, this and that. Why should our kids gonna go there and take it over?
Do you think that somebody sitting in an office has got an easy job than we have? No. We can sit down, go and have a coffee, walk out, go and sit in our dad's car. If we own our businesses, do you think somebody sitting on a desk has got more pressure than we have? We have less pressure.
Absolutely.
And the kids,
limited
pressure. We can walk out whenever we want to.
Absolutely.
That's the joy of running our own business.
So you encouraging, I think, other fathers to encourage their
encourage the kids to come in and help them with what they want to do and give them a bit of space. I think they can do a better job sometimes than us.
Absolutely, you are right, absolutely. And also, আমাদের যে market, আমরা যেটা মনে করি যে, because we are marketing to the curry lovers, and curry lovers are all smart.
There wasn't, you know, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, there was no Facebook advertisement, there was no this and that. These things, my generation of people don't have never heard of it. They open the door, they wait for customers to come in. These things bring customers to us.
Absolutely. No.
Nowadays, you know, my challenge is, you know, bring the customers to your restaurant. Don't wait for the customers to come here. If you can't do it yourself, your kids can't do it, employ somebody to do it.
Absolutely. One very important thing, look, as you said, there were no Facebook, there's no Instagram, there is no Google My Business page, there is no reviews, there is no TripAdvisor review. So those things are happening now. As you see, TripAdvisor investing, I mean, most of their money to their customers to review about this restaurant particularly. Also Google advertising on BBC, advertising on ITV, advertising on social media, YouTube, say please contribute towards your local business by reviewing the restaurants or the business. So I think this is the time we need to very much aware what we're going to do, and we need to be very careful about our social media marketing.
As I just said, this has become a major part of any business, not just the catering business. It's a part of any business, whether it's a shoe shop, whether it's a dry cleaner. It's all done on reviews.
Absolutely. Thank you. Whether it is for personal.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to go for a short break. We're going to come back again, প্রিয় দর্শক। আজকে আমাদের যে প্রসঙ্গে আমরা কথা বলছি, নিশ্চয়ই আপনারা যারা রেস্টুরেন্টে আছেন আপনাদের নিশ্চয়ই উপকারে আসবে, সুতরাং আপনার প্রোগ্রামটি দেখতে থাকুন। যাচ্ছি আরেকটি বিরতি। আসসালামু আলাইকুম প্রিয় দর্শক, আপনাদেরকে আবারও স্বাগত জানাচ্ছি আমাদের আজকের যে অনুষ্ঠান মিট দ্য গভর্নর, এবং সেখানে উপস্থিত আছেন আমাদের সাথে আব্দুল আহাদ, একজন খুব অভিজ্ঞতা সম্পন্ন একজন ব্যক্তি, যিনি কথা বলছেন তার নিজস্ব অভিজ্ঞতা থেকে। আহাদ ভাই, আমরা তো বেশ কিছু ইম্পর্টেন্ট বিষয় টাচ করছি। ফর এক্সাম্পল লাইক আমরা এখন কিলা ট্রিট করা দরকার, আমরা ইয়াং জেনারেশনরে এখানে আনা উচিত, এবং আমরা যারা রেস্টুরেন্ট চালাইরাম তার কি ধরনের পরিবর্তন রাখা দরকার। ইউ হ্যাভ রিয়েলি মেনশন এ ভেরি গুড পয়েন্ট, অ্যান্ড আই শুড হাইলাইট দ্য পয়েন্ট টুয়ার্ডস আওয়ার ভিউয়ার্স, যে আমাদের একটা স্ট্রাকচার দরকার আছে, যে স্ট্রাকচারটা লাইকওয়াইজ, ফর এক্সাম্পল ইফ ইউ হ্যাভ, you can do 2 shift, 3 shift, but if you use your one chef throughout the whole shifts, then it's probably not good for your business.
Yeah,
but some people are thinking like, not some, probably most of us, যে এটা আমরা তো আরেকটা শেফরে স্যালারি দেওয়া, but these things and that things, it's going to be difficult for them. So what's your suggestion?
Normally, average restaurants have 2 chefs, one second, one first. And they can divide the work between them. They can get a third person to do all the preparing, And nowadays you have dishwashers, you have cutters, slicers. 10 years back they weren't available. Okay. So the work volume is cut down to 50%, more than 50%. You can get everything almost pre-prepared. So employ a third person to cover the shift of these 2 people. Okay. So you have a backup.
That's true.
You have a backup.
Also, there is a point like when 20 years back, even the 12 years back, that was not popular. I'm talking about the ordering system.
Everything has changed in the last 10 years. Everything has changed, and it's changed for the good. You can get potato peelers, you can get onion slicers. You got one machine, £3,000. We used to have 3 kitchen porters back in the days in the restaurant Brick Lane. We got 1 dishwasher and 1 porter.
Okay.
In and out. So I went to a restaurant about 10 years ago, and they, from London busy, they had 150 covers, and there was one guy washing the plates for that restaurant. That's and I went there, so I'm employing 3 people, and I invested one of them. I never looked back. Wow. So everything's available.
That's good. আচ্ছা, একটা বিষয় আপনার কাছে জানতে চাই। Nowadays, so many other companies, they are marketed their products like tandoori and these things,
Ovens.
Ovens, yeah. So what's your suggestion on it? Because my concern on it, that we probably gonna lose our authenticity. So what do you think on it?
No, change. Everybody's scared of change. Everybody's scared of change, whether it's any industry. Before the ordering system came in, our people didn't take it. Oh, it's going to be difficult to operate. When phones came out, mobile phones, nobody can use it. Since the iPhones came out, everybody can use it because it's so simple. Everybody's got one as well.
Yeah.
So now, when these things come out, people are a bit wary. These ovens are very good. They do 5 people's job. Rather than have 5 people, you have 1 people. You prepare them, you put them in there, you put in a timer, you go and read a paper. You put it in a tandoor, you got to hold on to that for 20 minutes. You can't read a paper.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying? That's the difference. There's nothing, there's nothing to be frightened of. Change is...
we need to be modernized in that
the
way?
spice is the same. The flavoring is the same. The chicken same, the poultry is same, the raw materials are same. So how can anything change?
Okay.
That's before all the tandoors were run by charcoal. Now they're on gas. What's changed? Nothing's changed. So instead of putting 5 chicken in there, you'll be putting 50 chickens. So a busy restaurant could do with these kind of technologies. Before people used to peel their potatoes manually. Now they put a machine. It takes 7 minutes. You put a dishwasher in there, it takes 3 minutes, and your whole plate's done. So change is something you could work with. Some things are not suitable for Indian industry, Indian catering industry. Some things are. So, you know.
You have to be very specific.
You know, very specific what you use, when you use, you know.
That's true.
Years back, 20 odd years back, we used to have one guy in the barge wiping and washing the glass and drying them. You get a dishwasher, it's 20 minutes.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Atbhai, you said you have 2 children, no?
I have 3 kids, yeah.
Okay.
3 kids, sorry. My daughter's going to kill me.
Okay, your daughter.
I have a daughter of 12 and one son who's 18, who's doing A-levels, and the other son who's 21 who just graduated.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So, I think everybody has got a life in this United Kingdom, even though first world country, as we say. It's very busy life. So how do you cope with business and family? And what's your contribution towards your family? And what are you going to say about your partner, I mean, other half?
My mother has been a support to me all her life. I mean, we've been married more than 20 years and I've come home anytime I wanted. I've done what I've done. She knew I'd do it for better for the family. So she let me do that. My kids have, mashallah, been very good, very supportive. And they've been very good, and they are still good. And you need a strong family unity to get wherever you want to get to.
Okay.
There's a lot of diversions in life, but you have to be united. You have to understand, you have to think through before you say something. And hats off to my other half, my partner. She's been a great support to me, you know.
Because it's because for you guys, like who does business, especially in restaurant business.
I've been on my feet for 16 hours.
Okay.
Back in 20 years ago, when I started off. Wow. I used to get up in the morning 7 o'clock, go to bed at 1 o'clock. So I've done the hours, and these have paid off. Some of my friends who went to school and college never done the hours. It hasn't paid off. So I've done the hours.
It's lucky, you know.
I've done the hours. I knew I wanted this in life. I've achieved them, and mashallah, as they say, if you work hard, stop complaining, you will get the reward.
You'll get the reward. That's fine. Your dad, I mean, your father,
yeah.
When they arrived in this country, so 1960, in that time, and you came 1973 when you were 2 years old. So, have you got any story from him that how was it that time?
Well, I want to tell you, I saw this with my own eyes. There used to be about 5 families in Brick Lane. There was about 500,000 now. And they used to come Saturday. My mum used to cook. Everybody used to come and eat. They used to write letters, you know. One person used to write a letter for them and these sort of things. They used to share bedrooms. It was amazing. There was a lot of community, you know. There's, you know, they all looked out for each other. As I say, East London was very poor at that time. And, you know, obviously the Jewish people left and the Bengalis came in and so on. So we was brought up in a council flat in bottom of Hanbury Street. It was all council street. It was very difficult for us, but we had enough to be happy with, as they say.
মানে ওই সময় যে পরিবেশটা আছে আসলে এটা আমরা মিস করেননি আপনারা?
Of course, everybody should look out for everybody. You know, they want to. Saturday you see about 15, 20. Most people didn't have families. So my dad had a family here. My mom used to cook in a big pot. They used to come and eat. Some used to bring fish. Some used to bring that. There was a sense of community. You know, there was a lot of love between people. You know, somebody was ill. You know, they'd come, take him to the hospital. So there was a lot of community, sense of community back then. You know. It's changing. It always changes. That's society that changes.
Where do you live now?
I live in Gravesend.
Okay. It's a beautiful area?
Lovely. Absolutely lovely. I've got a lovely house there, all I wanted in life, and I'm very comfortable.
Okay. So what's your hobby, Ahad? What do you do? And how do you pass your leisure time?
My second hobby is developing property.
Is it?
Is
it for you or is it for people?
I've been doing for me and for people as well. I've been doing that on and off for the last 20 years. So I've done a project in 2017. I just finished something. It's coming to an end through the pandemic. So I put my time to good use, you know, and that's also coming to an end. That's my second, that's my hobby.
Good, good.
It's not all about, you know, the end result. It's not all about money. When you do something and you finish it off, the end result is satisfying.
Okay. সকল বিজনেসম্যান তো যারা সাকসেসফুল হন, they have a dream to do, or also they want to do something for the community, they want to do something for their own motherland. So what's your plan?
I do a lot of charity work here as well. You know, I'm not the one for putting it on social media. I do it privately. I donate as much as I can. And back home, my dad has a great amount of wealth there he bought because he came here to the UK.
Where are you from in Bangladesh?
Sylhet.
Sylhet. Which area?
Shilam, Dokhin Shurma.
Dokhin Shurma, wow.
Yeah. My dad has a lot of property there, and my brothers are in their late 60s, and you know, so I've got a challenge in the next couple of years to go back and possibly give some of this away to local poor people, rather than, because my kids won't be going, and we have enough here. We won't need to tap into that. Do you understand what I'm saying? And mashallah, as the God said, you cannot take it with us, so use it the best you can. There's a lot of poor people out there. I'm going to try and divide some of the assets there and give it to the poor people.
Wow, that's you want to build something where people will get benefit.
But the thing is, you know, if you build a school, the kids benefit. But if you keep the mothers happy, the kids go to school better. You know, if they have breakfast in the morning, they have a good day at school. Absolutely. So the idea is to give them a roof over their head, probably an income, so where they can educate their
sustainability.
Sustainability, you know.
That's good.
So that's the idea, rather than buy them one meal with some rice, you know.
I think in Sylhet, I don't know how it's now, most probably we all going back to Bangladesh and building a house. If we can build a factory, probably many people can.
I'm not really one keen on doing business in Bangladesh, because I'm very wary of how, you know, I don't know the system there. So that's why most of my assets are here in this country. But my father left me a lot of assets. But you know, to run a factory in Bangladesh, you have to be very clued up. You know, and most people are very clued up who run business in Bangladesh. It's 10 times more difficult than here. But I don't think I'll be investing anything commercial in Bangladesh for a while. I'd rather divide the asset and give it to the poor. Keep what I need, as I say, as a roof over my head, address what I need. That would be the most
fantastic. Thank you. Atbhai, আমাদের হাতে সময়ও একবারে শেষ হয়ে গিয়েছে. We've been discussing so many important things. Only one thing I want to know from your side, like, what's your suggestion? And like I said, what's your suggestion towards other restaurateurs or other governors?
Well, my suggestion, there's change coming to the industry. Adapt with it. As I say, adapt or die. As they say, if you adapt,
do or die.
Do or die. It's simple. And to adapt, it doesn't take long. It doesn't take. Maybe there's a little bit of investment, and the long run it will be good, but short run it might be painful. You won't be taking. The profits will be slightly down, and it'll be difficult to. But in the long run, you'll have a better peace of mind. It's rather better to make £1 a week than make £10 one week and nothing for the rest of the year. Yeah. That's how I see it, you know. And so my
make a passive
my suggestion to your viewers and everybody in the catering trade: changes come in, adapt to it, and let your youngsters help you with the change.
Absolutely.
And that's what I say.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everybody, for listening to me.
Thank you, Ahad bhai. আজকের অনুষ্ঠানে এবং খুব গুরুত্বপূর্ণ একটা কথা বলেছেন যে youngsters needs to be join with this industry. Thank you again, and hopefully we're going to meet sometimes very soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. প্রিয় দর্শক, আজকে আমরা কথা বলছিলাম আমাদের আজকের অতিথি আব্দুল আহাদ, একজন সফল ব্যবসায়ী, একজন রেস্টুরেন্টের একজন গভর্নর। আমরা তার কাছ থেকে অনেক গুরুত্বপূর্ণ কিছু তথ্য পেয়েছি, কথা বলেছি তার জীবন নিয়ে, জীবন থেকে অনেক গল্প তিনি বলেছেন এবং সাথে সাথে কিছু পরামর্শ রেখেছেন।